hold up. They know the money is coming to go. So what?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today, there is fascinating news sending shocks throughout the whole YouTube right now. Hassan Campbell page seemingly, allegedly, seems to be deleted. Now, why is this important? Why is the internet going crazy about it? Why are people talking about it? Well, number one, he had 400,000 subscribers. So that's 400,000 people ranting. And then he probably had just as many haters. So if you do that, those numbers, you're looking at almost a million people that are talking about Hassan Campbell right now. Now, what was his content? His content was, he had his sayings, got your snot box rocked, got your TV turned off, got your noodles, and there's other sayings that he had as well. Now, was I a fan of Hassan Campbell? I'm not gonna say I was a fan, but I was a subscriber. I remember him from almost the beginning. He wasn't even talking about celebrity news. He was strictly talking about the situation with him and Africa Bambaataa and the Bronx River. Mainly, things that were going on there, people that were dying over there and their families, and that was his thing. And I remember him saying he didn't care for celebrities, so he wouldn't speak on celebrities. Then eventually he started speaking on nothing but celebrities. And he started making things hot with rappers, addressing him personally. So he started getting more attention. I think when I first started following Hassan, he was probably at 100-something thousand, maybe less than 100,000, 90-something thousand. And he got up to almost 500,000 eventually. But, so once he started getting the celebrities' attention, for me, because I had stopped watching them as frequent as I used to, for me, I started seeing that, okay, it seems this guy really wants to be a celebrity. That's what I kind of came to the conclusion of. Because the more he was getting celebrities' attention, the more he was happy about it. He would get these guys' attention, they would say something back, and then they would call him, and then he would have apologized. This was the method almost every time. He would apologize, and then he'd become friends with the rappers, or not friends, but he would stop talking about them or whatever. It was kind of weird to me, you know what I'm saying? Definitely different for me. I grew up with record deals, and I traveled the whole US and did songs with multi-platinum artists, went on tour with some of the biggest artists. So I could really care less about celebrities being my friend. I'm more into just people being my friend, whether you're a celebrity or not. As long as you're a person that I'm cool with, we can get along. You know what I mean? As long as you have morals and principles that follow the guidelines that I follow, we can get along. Wouldn't matter to me if you had $1 or $1 million. And I'm not gonna let someone with millions of dollars influence me more than someone without money because this person has money. It's just, for me, I have to like the idea of what you're talking about to say yes or go. But anyway, I started noticing that he was just, the celebrity thing, right? I don't know, he started acting like a celebrity. And then eventually I felt like his channel just turned into shock, like a shock jock. You know what I mean? He would say anything in order to just shock the internet for the night. He would get drunk, he would cry. He told Doggy Diamond something very explicit, which I won't repeat here. If you've been following those two, then you know what he told them. And, so to me, it was all like shock after a while. I'm gonna say anything in order to make people go, oh, what did he just say? Excuse me. And at that point, I feel like once you start doing that for the camera, you've lost yourself. You know what I mean? You're not saying things that you really mean. You're just saying things to get a reaction, which now you'll say anything. So now I, as a listener, I don't know where you stand on things anymore. Like, does he really like this or does he not like this? I would know, because when you ask him, he says anything to get views. So that's why I was kind of like, you know what, well, you know what I mean? I can't really watch too much of him anymore. But very entertaining guy. Let's give him his flowers, right? Very entertaining guy. Whether you liked or disliked his delivery, what he was saying, who he was speaking to, liked or disliked it or not, you were entertained. And I think that's where we get a little misconstrued with this. This is all entertainment. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, this is all entertainment. Of course, it's also information being shared with others. News, breaking news, passing of family members and friends, whatever it is. But for the most part, once again, this is entertainment. Most people that you see on social media, in the light that they're painted, is not their true life. It's just entertainment. They go next to a Lamborghini and take a picture. They stand next to the most beautiful waterfall and take the picture. These people are driving Volvos and living in the hood. Ain't no waterfalls around them. But if you go to their social media, you will see Lamborghinis and waterfalls. And there's nothing wrong with that, because once again, it's entertainment. I don't want to be entertained with you in the hood, having nothing to do and no goals to reach, or just, that's not entertaining. And I don't want to see you next to your Volvo. So I feel like he was entertaining the people. Now, where I feel like this is dangerous is the part that black people aren't talking about, right? We're gonna celebrate another black man's downfall. That's what we do. We never celebrate, you know, when a black man has reached milestones. But the most dangerous part about this is there's no freedom of speech anymore. There's no freedom of speech. Me and YouTube have had a rocky relationship. I was on YouTube back in like 07. I had a video go viral. Man gets arrested for drinking Arizona iced tea. If you go back and listen to that video, which has millions of views, you would hear my voice behind the camera. And the reason I just never kept these channels, you know, I was in the streets and I was on YouTube, then I was back in the streets. So I didn't really, you know, I didn't take it that serious at that time. I wish I would have now, but YouTube at one time, see, a lot of people are just jumping on it now, but at one time it was considered the place to go in order to get your freedom of speech on. A lot of other social media sites at that time, Facebook was changing, so they were with new guidelines, and so people will go to YouTube to just sit there and talk about how they felt about anything. Tons of, I don't know how it is now, but I used to watch tons of racist rants on YouTube. White people going in, you know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, right? People were going to YouTube to speak their mind and what they felt. You didn't have to click on it or watch it if you disagreed with it. Some people like me, I would watch it for educational purposes. I would watch it and learn how these people are when we're not around. This is how some of them really feel. I wanted to know. So these people have not been taken off of YouTube. as black people, you know, once again, we're gonna celebrate the downfall of another brother. But who's next? Who's YouTube gonna say, all right, well, we got Hassan out the way, let's get this dude out the way, and this black dude, while allowing white boys to go on Adam 22 No Jumper and say, hey, I thought you were just some slave owner, you're just a slave owner. Talking about the black employees that Adam employed at the time, and Adam, that's not breaking any guidelines. It's never breaking any guidelines when they're being offensive to us. It's just freedom of speech. Now, when we're being offensive to them, it's an automatic breach of guideline failure. And when we're being offensive to each other, it's just like crime on the street. They'll let us beef with each other, but once it hits too close to home, you gotta go. You gotta go to jail. We've heard it's got to our offices now about your activity and your attitude. This is how the same system they're using in YouTube. Same shit. They will allow white people to go up here and rant all they want about black people. China Mac just went on a whole rant about our crusty feet and our attitudes walking inside of the nail shops. That's not going to be considered offensive or breaking any YouTube guidelines to anyone. And let me tell you something. I support people like him going on his rant. I want to hear that. I support these former KKK members saying what's in their heart. I want to hear that. Don't censor it. Don't delete it. Don't change it from what they've imprinted on society on an audio frequency level. Same for us, I feel. Don't delete us. Don't silence our voice. Let people hear who he is, how he is, and let them make the decision if they want to deal with that person. At one time, YouTube was like that. Now it's highly curated, and they decide now who blows up, who goes down. And you can't really be mad because it is their shit. And this is why I'm pissed at black people, because we don't never want our own shit. We want to, you know. But nonetheless, man, this is how this man fed his family. This is how he got his food. This is, to me, it seems to pretty much be like his life, you know, outside of his family, of course, because it looks like he has a beautiful family. But, you know, so I hope he gets his channel back. And if he does get it back, I'm so interested in seeing what his first live is gonna sound like, because he's gonna break records. If he's allowed to come back with that channel and he goes live, Hassan is gonna break records. And the haters are just gonna hate. Now, in regards to, you know, him and Doggy Diamonds, because I touched on it real quick, let me just say this. I am a Doggy Diamonds fan. I watch his lives frequently. You know what I'm saying? I think that he talks a lot of sense. He comes from a very logical, realistic, and factual point of view. So I hated to see what happened between him and Hassan. But once again, because I don't know any of these guys personally, hopefully they understand. It's just great for entertainment to see them go back and forth. And I'm also an advocate of hell. If they would have got together and built something, that would have been great for entertainment. But unfortunately, as black men, we're not there yet. We're not ready for that part, to entertain them with a bunch of positivity. We were there at one time, let me say that, but now we're in a dark place and space, and we're compromising and whatever it is that we're doing. But anyway, Hassan got his snotbox rock, got his TV turned off, got his cable clipped, got his curtains closed. hopefully he's able to come back from this and be bigger and better than before and stop the haters, because it's just a matter of freedom of speech, man. I know he's hurting a lot of people and hurting a lot of feelings, and he's also contradicting himself and all of this other shit, and that he's doing, but he's human. You've contradicted yourself, I've contradicted myself, I've said things hurtful to people. Fucking Tupac was the most contradictory rapper ever, and we love Tupac more than anybody. It's just part of being human. So I think him putting his vulnerability out there on the table like that is a part of his greatness as well, because most of us, we're not gonna get on YouTube and cry. Even if we do behind the scenes, we're not gonna get on YouTube and tell about whatever he did with Africa Bambaataa. No one's gonna say that, okay? No one's, you know, so kudos to him for being, you know, as outspoken as he is. Hopefully he gets his channel back and all the haters can stop talking. If he doesn't get his channel back, then hey, the YouTube streets continue to go on. Nothing's gonna stop because his shit stopped. I hope he understands that. The show must go on and it will go on. But anyways, this has been your boy Tony. Holla.
Stand on top like I'm King Kong. Paddle niggas like a ping pong. Run my block like I'm King Von.